Hi, hello viewers, it's My Lemonade IAS Academy and today we are going to start our constitution. So in our constitution, first is preamble. So preamble is nothing but it is the introduction or preface of the constitution. So first let us start with the introduction or preface. So that is preamble. So this is what said in our preamble. We the people of India have solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic and to secure all its citizens justice, liberty, equality, fraternity. So these are the things which are said. First, actually preamble says that the source of power for the government is from the people only. So source of the power is obtained from the people. That is what said in our constitution, and let us see the meaning for each and every terms: sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic and republic. They constituted India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic and republic. These are the characteristics of our constitution. So let us see each and everything. These are the characteristics of a government actually. These are the characteristics of India. So first, what is this sovereign? Sovereign means government is devoid of any influence. So our government decision should not be influenced by outsiders or insiders. Our government decisions should be independent, and that is called as sovereign. So this is what said in sovereign. So example, we can say our government should not be influenced by other external powers like other foreign countries like USA or China. For internal things, we can say our government should not be influenced by any MNC companies or any other greater powers that are existing inside our India. That is what said in that is what we can define sovereign. Then we have socialist. So what is this socialist? Socialist means there are two types of socialism actually. One is democratic socialism, another one is communist socialism. Our India follows democratic socialism. Actually, communist socialism means there is an abolition of private property. In India, there is both private property as well as public property. Both exist side by side. We have both private sector as well as public sectors, and we also have faith in mixed economy. But in case of communist socialism, they abolish the private property, and nationalization or the characteristics of communist socialism. For example, we can say Russia. Russia follows that type of socialism, but in India we have democratic socialism in which we have faith in mixed economy where both private as well as public sectors exist side by side. So socialism, our India is a socialist country. And secular. So what is this secular? The Indian government is not having any religion. Our government is not following any religion. So our India government is not having any religion, but the people of India do have a religion. So you and me are having a religion, but our Indian government is not having any religion. That is secularism. So we follow positive concept of secularism in which we treat all the religion equally. We give importance to each and every religion equally and give support to all the religions, and that is called as positive concept of secularism. So in our India we follow positive concept of secularism, and our government is not having any religion, but you and me are having religion. That is called secularism. Then democratic. Democratic means government take the power from the people through the elections. So elections are conducted. Through the elections, government is obtaining power from the people only. So source of the power is from the people only. So people are electing the representatives. So the source of the power is from people, and that is democratic. Through elections, people are selecting their representatives. So source of power is from people. Then we have republic. So republic means head of the government is not hereditary. Example, in British we can say in England there is a head of the government which is Queen. So British Queen is the head of the government. But in India, head of the government is not hereditary. In England it is hereditary, but in India it is not hereditary. They are also elected. So head of the government is not hereditary and they are elected, and that is republic. And to secure all its citizens. So these are the objectives actually. Justice, liberty, equality and fraternity are the objectives. These are the characteristics we can say. So these are the characteristics of our government, our constitution. These are the objectives of our constitution or government. So justice, liberty, equality and fraternity. So let us see those things one by one. So justice, they say social justice, economic justice and political justice. Justice in all these three. we need social justice as well as economic justice and political justice, whereas liberty means liberty of thought, right to talk anything, right to say anything, right to express anything. So liberty of thought, liberty of expression, belief, faith and worship. In our India, we can follow any religion, right? It is also said as freedom to worship. So those things come under liberty. Then equality, treating everyone equally. So equality of status and opportunity. We have all have the same opportunity. You can become a president, I can become a president. You can write civil services exam, I can write civil services exam. There is an equal opportunity that is existing in India. So equality of opportunity and to promote among them all. This is one objective. Then fraternity. Fraternity means it is a sense of brotherhood that should be existed. So fraternity, assuming dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. So it assures two things. One is dignity of the individual and another one is unity and integrity of the nation. So these are the things which are said as objective, and the source of the power is from people, which I have already said. So in our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact and give to ourselves this Constitution. And relating to preamble, there is another one fact. Actually, our preamble is amended only once. Only once it is amended and certain words are added. So socialist, secular words are added through the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. So it is amended only one, and that is 42nd Amendment Act of 1976, through which sovereign democratic republic added. So certain words and the unity of the nation, which is said here, are added through this 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. So there is a confusion that whether preamble is part of our constitution or not. So some say preamble is the philosophy of the Indian Constitution. It is said by D. Basu, and some say it is a nutshell and it is an essence of the Indian Constitution. There are many ways in which many people say about the preamble, but there is a confusion whether preamble is part of the Indian Constitution or not. Generally, Article 368 talks about the amendment of the Constitution. In Berubari case, actually there is a case called Berubari. So Berubari Union case of 1960, the judgment said preamble is not part of Indian Constitution. It said preamble is not a part of Indian Constitution. But in 1973, there is another one case called Keshwananda Bharati case. In this Keshwananda Bharati case, it said that preamble is a part of Indian Constitution and preamble can be amended. This is what said in 1973. So, but it can be amended, but it cannot be altered by the amendment under Article 368. Under the amendment of Article 368, preamble can't be amended, but it can be amended. This is what said in Keshwananda Bharati case of 1973, and Keshwananda Bharati case is the case in which large number of judges are collectively taken the decision. So highest number of judges are there to give the final result. In Keshwananda Bharati case, 13 judges are there to give the judgment in Keshwananda Bharati case. And during Keshwananda Bharati case, there is another one term that was introduced, and that is basic features. So Keshwananda Bharati case said that our preamble is a part of Indian Constitution and it can be amended, but that amendment should not alter the basic feature of our Indian Constitution. So this is what said. And another one thing that is said in Keshwananda Bharati case is our preamble is non-justiciable. So what is this justiciable? Justiciable means you can't question that. Justiciable means you can question the Supreme Court that it is not followed. But non-justiciable means you can't question the Supreme Court that the preamble is not followed. Say the objectives are not achieved. You can't question anything that is given in preamble. But if your fundamental right, say your fundamental right to live, right to freedom of expression, your fundamental right, if it is violated, then you can question the Supreme Court. That is, fundamental right is justiciable. You can say to the Supreme Court, you can go to the Supreme Court and ask that your fundamental right is violated, and you can seek a remedy. But in case of preamble, if it is not followed, you can't go and question the Supreme Court. So, therefore, our preamble is non-justiciable and we can't amend the basic features of our constitution. But we can amend the preamble. So, this is what said in Keshavananda Bharati case of 1973. Then, LIC India case of 1995. So, LIC India case of 1995. This said that preamble is an integral part of the constitution. So it just repeated the Keshavananda Bharati case. Keshavananda Bharati case also said this preamble is a part of Indian constitution. So LIC India case 1995 also said that preamble is an integral part of constitution. And as I said, in 1973 Keshavananda Bharati case itself, they have said that preamble can be amended. So in 1976 there is an amendment of the preamble, and that is 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. So in the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act, 3 words are included in our constitution: socialist, secular. So I have said secular, we follow positive concept of secularism, then integrity. So these are the words which are included by the 42nd Constitution Amendment Act. Till now our preamble is amended only once, and preamble is based on objectives resolution. In our history we will study these things. So objectives resolution. So our preamble is based on this objective resolution. The preamble is enacted by the Constituent Assembly only, but after the rest of the constitution was already enacted, So these are the things which are relating to preamble of our Indian constitution. Subscribe to My Minute IAS Academy. Thank you.